A man works more positively and productively if he's not overly hungry. So, what have I got here? I have bread inside the toaster. I have the toaster. I have a plate. I have butter. I have the electricity to turn the bread into toast. But what I don't have is a knife to spread the butter, because I took it home and didn't bring it back. Do you have a spoon though? So this is more like dishing up ice cream than butter. Yep, yeah, it is. Oh, I've created a hole in the bottom of that. That's going to go straight through to the dirty bench. So there we have it. You can use a spoon instead of a knife. That's okay. Success. You can use a spoon instead of a knife. But can you use a knife instead of a spoon? Should you attempt to eat your bowl of Cocoa Pops with a butter knife? Should you feed your 6-month-old baby pureed pumpkins and sweet potato, cauliflower? Yeah, but what about serving it on a bread knife? No, these propositions are preposterous. What do you expect though? You're still watching this video, I haven't even started my job yet. Coming up. I'm about to do first. Anyway, back to something more positive. What car can I bring in here today to take up this space, do some work, just in case it doesn't stop raining today or tomorrow, for example? Well, if the car isn't moving by itself, then I would need the truck, and that would become quite tricky because I've got to get the truck over there, which means stuff needs to be moved out of the way, and it means getting really drenched doing it, and at any point somebody could come back and I'm in their way, so it's always a bit tricky. The best time for that is after everybody's gone home. So to save going through all the possibilities of what could in fact come in here, I may as well just come straight out with it and say what I should bring in here. And I think that should be Marjorie over there. I could bring that in and start taking the power steering pump off and getting towards all the gubbins for the timing belt to see if indeed the timing is somehow off. I could do that, but will I though? I used to own one of those. So now it has stopped raining, I'm going to bring Project Marjorie inside. Ta-da! You didn't even see me do it. And that's because I forgot to press record. One thing's occurred to me. I replaced this throttle body. That's one of the first things I did with one off another car, of course. But the car that came off of was another R8 that was the same colour as this one that I never had running, and when I eventually took the engine out I found it had 2 holes in it because it had been thrashed. Like way beyond today. You can thrash something to death and then you can carry on killing it after it's already dead, and I think that's what happened with that car. But one of the reasons possibly it was getting thrashed is maybe that throttle body had gone wrong, or the sensor on the throttle body had actually already gone wrong. So by replacing it on there, I could be just giving it exactly the same problem. So isn't it lucky that I have Project Amy? Yesterday was the day when I made my mind up about this car. Or was it not yesterday? No, it wasn't. It was Friday. The couple of days here or there is not really going to make any difference. What is going to make a difference is that this has got a throttle body that I'm going to take off. Now, of course, this engine doesn't run either. But the difference is this doesn't run because it's got a snapped cam belt, and the other one didn't run because of low compression, because it was broken completely. But the chap whom I got this from told me all about it, and I think if it was misfiring and not running evenly, he'd have told me that. So I'm going to assume that that's fine, and it may well just be that after all. We'll see. So as we can see down here, it is just a case of undoing the throttle cable, taking a couple of pipes off, and that pipe as well, undoing that, and then undoing the plug, and then basically it's all off. 12mm, not 13. That's almost off. It's just one small pipe that's refusing to budge at the moment. There is always one. Now there is the article itself, not the offending article, but the article. And there's the gasket. So I'm going to replace that. After all, this lot should all come off quite easily because I had it off not so long back. Another thing before I start putting this back together, I just read a comment by Dick Dastardly saying that he really likes the sounds of my footsteps as I walk around the yard when it's sped up. So just for you, back to work. That came off very easily because it was put on recently. It's always very useful when you put something on because you're not going to do it up stupidly tight. Oh dear. Oh, that's rude. That's very rude. It's stuck. This happens quite a lot. The old tanker drivers get stuck when it's been wet because all the fluid leaks to the back, and then on the fifth wheel they can't get any traction. That means someone's going to have to go out and help him. Unless he can miraculously get some grip from somewhere. But what will happen is people just carry on overtaking and then coming right up behind him and cause them basically a nuisance of themselves, which is rude. I've got it all moving again, but people really are thick and ignorant sometimes. Having to explain to every single one of these people what to do because they couldn't figure it out for themselves. Come on, get on, gloves. Okay, throttle body on. I'm just about to start putting the little nuts on it so it can be tightened up, and then we'll see what happens after that. Will it work? That's the question. Will it work? Obviously that's the question. What other question would there be at this particular stage? Well, I can tell you, no other question. That is the question. And it is the question I shall endeavour to answer as soon as I put it all back together again. Right, as soon as I realised it was more important that I got it in the hole than you seeing me get it in the hole and switch the camera off, I got it in the hole. So, there's only a couple of bits more to stick on. A couple of more bits even. Is it, what do you say? Is it a couple more bits or bits more little? No. What am I talking about? Gosh, if I'm confusing myself, what chance have you lot got? Right, so, a few more bits to stick on. And ideally, the airbox, which we don't really need on to check, but I'm going to stick it on anyway, just in case it has. Uh-oh. Thought was up for another truck stuck then. Another truck stuck. Another stuck truck. Where's that one? Oh, hang on. Where's that? Ah, close to there. Yeah. And then that's ready to be switched on and tested yet again. Now, I'm sure I remember something about some sort of throttle reset thing as well, that it might want to do that. So I'm going to have a quick look online for that right now. One suggestion is to disconnect the battery for 5 minutes, and the other is to have some sort of scan tool in, which obviously you can't do because it doesn't have the ability for scan tool. and I'm just going to carry on looking. It seems, it looks strange actually, coming up this end of the yard and seeing no Rovers at all from this angle. I suspect that will be changing in a minute, because I'm going to start this car up now and see what happens. Hopefully something good. Well, that's exactly the same. Just for a second then I thought it was a bit better, but I don't think it is. Ah well, everything will be better once I admit it's dinner time and use my trolley for another purpose. A table. Well, there's one word for that. Two words for that in fact. Not bad. Back to the seemingly never-ending saga of Project Marjorie. I reckon if I do that ECU test again, it will still come up with that throttle position sensor issue. I bet it will, so I'm going to try it. I would suggest that watching an ECU's flashing light isn't the best bit of videoing I could do, so I'm not going to record it. I'll just tell you whether it does the same thing or not. Well, remarkably, perhaps I should have recorded that after all, because the 7 flashes has gone. It's just 9 flashes now, which is the knock sensor, I think. So it's how fixed. Interesting. Knock sensor, that's the one inside the dizzy unit thing. I think it is anyway. But I can't find out because my internet connection's been rubbish at the moment. It's never good here, but today it's just not wanting to work anywhere. Try down here. Think. Well, I could always change that dizzy again for the one off of Project Amy. But then I remembered that the dizzy's new and the whole unit underneath it is off of max anyway, and I haven't even put that back. So it's not that at all. Something else I've read is get the engine warmed up, then recalibrate the computer. I feel like I'm going around in circles, but there's another thing. I'm just going to try and put it back together again now. Well, how about this? This is interesting. Just switch the ignition on and there's no fault codes whatsoever. How about that? That means it should just run properly now. That was let the engine get up to temperature, disconnect the battery, then disconnect the hazard lamp fuse for 10 seconds, 20 seconds, put it back in, put the battery back on. Getting the engine hot means you get to heat up the gearbox oil that's spilt, and that smells like cat pee. Some bad news. My freezer stopped working very well, and now my Rover 25 filler flaps are not as cool as they used to be. Annoying. I hate you, England! Interesting though. Listen to that whistle. There's some sort of crossed wires going on somewhere. I wonder if that could be the actual solution to this problem. Dodgy earth. You never know. Stopped again. What a better treat could you have to find in the yard than the yard cat itself? that's where my device lives, on there.
Interesting to see how the magic happens.
It's not actual magic, it's just plain old
Sheer professionalism.
it's sheer professionalism in the guise of stupidity.
The best kind.
So, yes, tomorrow I shall come back and move you, and we'll have a look at that Rover 75 over there. And that Rover 75's name is
Sir Arnold Robinson.
Sir Arnold Robinson.
Although by the time tomorrow comes, it'll probably be called Project Bernard or something.
I'm joined at the end of this video by a man called Boaty, which is a rather unusual name, and he likes to make videos and he likes to cook. We're going to be doing a few things together, and he's
Sweet Jesus.
not those kind of things, if that's what you're worried about. He's a good cook though. He makes my dishes look like dog food with a bit of parsley on the top.
Are they dog food with a bit of parsley on the top? I've only seen one of yours.
That's because I don't really do it very often.
I watched your spaghetti bolognese.
My simple bolognese.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was simple, quick, and it was okay.
Good pan work, I thought.
Yeah. You might not be able to see Mr. Boaty next to me, but he is genuinely there. Look,
That is my hand.
Do that again. Look, I haven't got three hands, so I couldn't possibly trick you into that. Although I've got a few tricks on the go. Many people say he sounds a bit like David Williams.
Name three.
Those three people that said you sound like David Williams. Who are they?
Well, there is you.
No, I never said it. I think you sound like Nigel Farage.
No, you said I look like Nigel Farage.
You do. If only he wasn't so
You said
right?
that I was missing an opportunity to earn a good living as a Nigel Farage tribute act.
Yeah. The reason you can't see him at the moment is because my forward-facing camera doesn't have that kind of wide-angle lens on it. And he's happy not to be seen, because he's not normally seen in his videos. So why should he be seen in one of mine?
Oh, a dog.
She waved.
Did you actually know that person, or was that just a random
Do it all the time.
of perambulating themselves in the traditional fashion?
Perambulating.
Ah,
That's an interesting choice of word. Yeah, well, they are, but it's wet outside, isn't it?
yeah, so it means they're carrying a wet dog, which I would have thought would make one less inclined to go down such a route.
The wet dog smell. And
If you were going to carry a dog, and there are two dogs there in front of you to choose from, if you were in some kind of unusual scenario, perhaps competitive dog carrying, and to make it fair, each contestant had a choice of dogs that they could carry, so that you couldn't argue that you were beaten on the grounds that you had a less competitive dog. And one was wet and one was dry. Which one would you go for?
well, that's exactly how I would be considering going for the dry one. I like dry things anyway.
The wet one would also be heavier, which
What's
would put
he
you at a disadvantage.
Wet, yeah, exactly. That was my first thought. Forget about the fact that it's going to stink. But wet dogs shouldn't be picked up. It's as simple as that. If they can get wet, they can walk themselves, and we all know that dogs can't walk.
Oh, a tram!
Yeah, there's a tram there.
I do like a tram. Do you do that with the 8-horn shouty thing?
Yeah.
You scared the shit out of the poor bastards.
I don't do it very often. To be honest, it's only just having the encouragement of a little bit of rather irresponsible behaviour from a man called Boaty. That
Should we not be doing something a bit more professional? Should I not be inquisiting you to elicit interesting answers for your many thousands of fans?
you can do that in your own video. Might as well get you popular.
Gosh. That's a very good wig, by the way.
It's fantastic. Uh-oh, I've been rumbled.
do look as if you've been rumbled
Yeah.
quite often.
Look, didn't he just deliberately try and splash him? They're not going for it now. You need a certain type of person that's naturally friendly and will either just know everybody or has a habit of...
Or has an enormous ego and automatically assumes that they've been recognised.
Well, yeah.
They could have a YouTube channel, for example.
Do you reckon that's ever happened?
I've got an idea for a YouTube channel.
What's that then?
It's kind of an offshoot of Boaty's Box, but I wanted to put a more motoring twist on it so that it's in keeping with the overall theme of the channel. And I thought farting in laybys.
Well, it sounds like a winner to me. Count me in.
Oh, sweet Jesus Christ.
I was trying to scare you then.
Are there any more seatbelts available in this Rover 45, or is it just the one?
Well, there's another 3 in the back, but you can't use those.
I'll sit in the back next time.
There won't be a next time. It's nice and cool, isn't it?
It is. It's
The
lovely
aircon
and
works.
cool. The air conditioning is exceedingly effective.
Yeah. Is it as good as yours?
Mine is better.
Is it?
Yeah. No, honestly, mine is better.
I've only got mine and one though.
Well, you see, you and your singular analog, I have the digital, which I am now going to impress you by telling you that it is exactly the same system as is used in a supercar, and I can't remember which one. I think it's the Boaty Zonda. Do you know?
Well, I do know the Rover 75 ZT thing, and I've got quite a few parts for them, believe it or not. It's
the 45 digital
the
climate unit.
No, that's the same as in what is it? It's a Ferrari.
No, it's not. It's not. It's one of the. It's what. You did remember there was a corner there. Well done. It's one of the less mainstream ones. I'm sure it's. If it's not the Boaty, it's. I shall Google it and get back to you.
Pagoni? You mean Pagona?
Boaty.
Pagona.
Boaty.
Pagona.
Tomato. Anyway,
Tomato.
everybody's entitled to hold the wrong opinion.
Yeah, especially you.
Boaty.
Let's get harsh about it. Right, there we go. I can park here, and so I shall. Although it does say disabled.
Shall I limp?
Yeah. Well, I'm not parking, I'm stopping anyway.
Pausing.
And I'm not stopping in the spot. I'm actually stopping in the bit I'm not supposed to do, which is even better.
Is this railway station?
Well, yeah.
Thank you so much for the lift.
It's there.
And I would like to say that it's been an enormous pleasure, but my mother told me I shouldn't lie.
Yeah, exactly. I'll see you soon.
Cheers, buddy.
Although you didn't see him at all, that man, Boaty, he's known for his £500 scrap car challenge videos and Facebook page and stuff. We'll be seeing quite a lot more of him, even though you didn't see him at all then. Let that be a warning for the things that are about to come. It'll be bad. It'll be okay. It'll be nice. It'll be okay. You'll like it. Have you noticed half my beard's gone?